Hey you guys! So today I've decided I'm going to teach you guys how to instruct a push-up mechanics. So the thing is with push-ups is that they're not exactly actually the most functional thing to train, and the reason why they're not that functional is because every time you in real life you're pushing something away, you're never just going to use your hands. You're always going to use your whole body. Like your legs are going to be involved. But the reason why I want to teach proper push-up mechanics is because that leads into more functional mechanics. So if you have the push-up mechanics down, it's going to lead you into doing actual functional movement mechanics. So a push-up, how you get into a push-up. So typically what you want to do is you want to make sure that your hands are right under your shoulders. So hands under the shoulders, get up on the toes, and here's a trick. You also want to make sure that your heels are away from the center line. So you don't want your heels to sink in, you want them to be away. Okay, so if you look here, my heels are away from the center line. That being said, you want to make sure that your knees, they're not sinking like that. You want to pull them out as well, okay? While you're doing that, you want to make sure that your hips are curled under you, your glutes are squeezed, your core is tight, and your rib cage is in line with your hips. So this is how it's going to look like if you utilize all of those mechanics. Curl the hips under you, squeeze the glutes, core tight, rib cage in line with the hips. And your hands, as they're under your shoulders, you don't want to have them over hyperextended. You want a slight bend in your elbows, and you want to make sure that your hands are slightly turned in a little bit to keep the inner part of your wrist away from the center. So you don't want this to touch the ground. You want that away. Okay, so they should look like this. So when you come down into a push-up, you want to make sure that your elbows are diagonal away from your shoulders. So they're going to look like this. You want to make sure you're making a nice house peak look. The closer you pull your elbows in, the more you're working your triceps. But right now we're just focusing on a normal push-up. So, as you dip down into that push-up, I'll show you guys from the side how it looks like. So you inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. When you come up, engage this part of your back, and as you come down, the energy is going to transfer to your chest. So you come down, the energy transfers to your chest, and as you come up, the energy comes back here, okay? And make sure that you are keeping your hips off the ground and away. You want your hips in line with your rib cage, okay? So you want that nice straight spine look. You want your spine to be straight, okay? So again, the reason why I'm deciding to teach the push-up is because these push-ups are going to lead into another functional movement that is actually functional. So push-ups, in my opinion, are not the most functional types of exercise you can do. It's not something that I would practice forever, honestly. It is something that I would get down, make sure you can do it so that you can go into actual functional movement. And an exercise that I'm going to be teaching in the future, I'm going to show you guys right now. And this is why I want people to understand how to do a push-up. So if you have the push-up down, then you can lead into a functional movement that looks like this. Now, obviously, that exercise is better with a dumbbell. I was too lazy to grab my dumbbells today because it's buried in my trunk, and and feel like standing out there in the cold right now and digging out my dumbbells. But that exercise would be done with a dumbbell. That exercise right there is called the push-up to row. And the reason why that one is a functional movement is because a lot of times when you go to grab something, you reach out to grab it and then you push away with the other arm. Okay, so you reach out to grab it and you push away with the other arm. So that right there is a functional movement. I'm not breaking that down right now. I will in the future. For those of you who struggle to do push-ups on your toes, I would suggest instead of doing it on your knees, because knee push-ups are not functional in any way, shape, or form, I would suggest to do it on a higher ledge, such as a table, a wall, a chair. Do it on a higher ledge until you can get to the ground. Okay, so go ahead and try that out. Try to get your push-up mechanics down. And then next week, I am actually planning on breaking down the mechanics of the functional purpose of the push-up. So yeah, go ahead and try that out. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you'd like to work with me, please shoot me a message.